going into John Horst, that was a phenomenal brother. That was one of the greatest military leaders in American history. That's never talked about. This was a brother who was down there in Florida fighting in the Seminole War, and they've always made the Seminole War seem like it was a Native American against the
right.
government. Even they at the time said, this is a Negro war. We can lie later, which is what they're doing now. But they said when they were fighting, we got to stop playing. These are Negroes and they're beating the brakes off of us because they don't want to be on no plantation and they're fighting to the death. It was black people down in Florida burning down plantations. They halted the slave business down in Florida. They were freeing people, slaughtering the white generals and the white U.S. Army military personnel. Many of those counties down there are named after the white people who were slaughtered. Dade was slaughtered by some of those black Seminoles. Dade County is named after him. The Seminoles went in there, the brothers, which I call the Maroons, because that's what they were. They were living in the swamps. They hopped out on Dade and slaughtered like 100 of his guys. They made a treaty with the United States saying that they could get their freedom if they chose to move out of Florida. So they fought and won their freedom. They never frame it like that. They got their freedom and they were told they got to move to Indian Territory in Oklahoma. That's why a lot of the black Seminoles ended up in Oklahoma. Some of the Redskin natives were trying to enslave them, so they said, oh, well, let's go down to Mexico. We got to deal with them down there. They'll let us come down here and chill because we were working with the Spanish in Florida. We're still cool with some of the Spanish folks. So they went down to Mexico. The black Seminoles, they were supposed to protect the border, which is what they did. They protected the border from the Comanche Indians. And they were going back and forth. After slavery, they would come back. They would work with the U.S. Army. They became the Buffalo Soldiers. They came all the way out here in the West. It was those black Buffalo Soldiers who were really Seminole Maroons who were the first park rangers. All of the national parks that we see in the West, they were the ones helping to clear the brush and build the structures in these parks and to maintain them and make sure that they weren't being vandalized. It was black park rangers doing that. We were the first people who were working in the mail service in the United States, the Pony Express. You couldn't have white people riding horses in hostile areas with these Native Americans. They would have gotten killed and scalped. They had to get black folks to do it. It was black folks riding those horses.
I mean, even this our history with horses and being the first, you know, cowboys and Lone Ranger and things of that nature. Our history is so, like, they took, you know, it's brilliant when you think of how they steal and then they remake history.
And you brought up the Lone Ranger. That ties in, too. The Lone Ranger is based on Bass Reeves, a foundational black American who was enslaved. He was in Texas. He beat up his slave owner, got his freedom, went to live with the black Seminoles in Oklahoma, eventually became a lawman, very well respected. He had a Native American sidekick, a red Native American sidekick. When Hollywood got that story, they turned the Lone Ranger into a white man. Still kept Tonto, the red Native American. But
his story was so bad, man. When they basically like, man, no, we can't. When we tell this story, we got to say he was white.
They had to white them up. We'll give him a black mask, but we'll just white.
That black mask was representing his black skin.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It was a symbolic thing.